So they asked the kid from South Philly, what song do you want to come up to? So I'm either going to pick Frank Sinatra or a Rocky Balboa song. So I picked Rocky. What a great crowd. Thank you, Lisa. Senator Baker, a great state senator you have. Come up here. Yeah, we all knew Lisa when she was working for Tom Ridge, and back then she was that cutie who worked for Tom Ridge. That's what all the young staffers used to say. Now she's a great state senator, and she's you really should be proud of her. I'm proud of her. So, and what a great room. I want to thank all the people who are committee people, who are especially state committee people, county committee people. Thanks for what you do. Our county chair Ron Ferrance is here. We've got state committee people over here off to the side that I saw. I started out as a committee man over 30 years ago in Philadelphia, the streets of South Philadelphia, where it was tough to be a Republican. So I've been fighting this battle like you have for a long, long time. I love this party. I'm passionate about this party. Like Abraham Lincoln said, the Republican Party is this country's last best hope, and America is the world's last best hope. And we know the fight we're up against right now. And the reason we know is because the left has finally come to a place, not just the left, really the entire Democrat Party, where they have to admit, and I think they have admitted it, that they don't like the principles upon which this country was founded. And that's a sad place, but that's where we are. And we see that now. We see that throughout the Democratic Party, starting at the top. Maxine Waters this week, impeach, 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 impeach. Nancy Pelosi, Schumer. And we saw what they tried to do to probably one of the most qualified people to be nominated for the Supreme Court in a generation in Kavanaugh. They're going to try to bork him. We're not going to allow it. Judge Kavanaugh will be Justice Kavanaugh. He'll be fighting for our values. So if you need any more reason to come out to vote this year, folks, I don't know what it is. Because you're fighting for the survival of America. And what is America? It's an idea. It's an idea that we're all free to pursue our own happiness.
And a border.
Right? What's that?
I want to see a border.
And a border. And let's talk about that. So you brought it up, let's talk about that. You couldn't come up with a better policy to undermine the United States of America, that idea, than to bring undocumented illegal aliens across the border and subject them to bring them into our welfare state. Now, this is a great country, and we welcome immigrants who come here legally. I'm married to an immigrant. Great immigrant family that I'm married to. Came here, worked hard, believed in the American dream. But that's not what they want. It's not what the left wants. They want to change the culture. And how do you do that? You bring people in, don't assimilate them, don't necessarily ask them to get jobs. You put them on welfare benefits. We need people who want to come here and work, who want to share in the American dream. We need a border.
We need a border.
The left believes in sanctuary cities, socialism, single-payer health care. $32 billion in additional taxes that we'll need over the next decade to fund Senator Sanders' dream of a socialist utopia. And our children have not been educated about what socialism means. They just think it means free education, free health care. No, it's the government takeover of industry, it's the confiscation of properties, the redistribution of wealth. And we've seen what that's meant over the last century. Hundreds of millions of people lost their lives and their freedom and their property. We're going to fight against that, and we need to. And we're going to call the left out for what they really are. We used to argue over whether we would have welfare reform or higher taxes. Those days seem to be gone. Right here in Pennsylvania, the Democrat Party's nominated 4 state representatives who are the Social Democrat Party. Read their platform. It's a scary platform. And the Democrat Party state chairwoman said, I don't see any difference between those candidates and the rest of our candidates. That's a scary thing. The lieutenant governor candidate is a silver spoon socialist. Campaigns here with I keep saying Barry Sanders. I love that running back. Campaigns here with Senator Sanders, Bernie Sanders. That's what we're up against, folks. And you need to look at what's going on in the city of Philadelphia, where the 4th or 5th generation of children can't read and do math at basic level. It's a disgrace. You have to ask yourself whether that party really cares about the children. They say they do, but what they really care about are teachers' unions. You remember what the head of the NEA said a couple decades ago? When the kids start paying union dues, that's when I'll start to worry about children. So another generation of children languishes in Philadelphia with substandard schools. The Republican Party cares about those kids. Scott Wagner cares about those kids. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. So what can we do? First of all, we've got to send Lou Barletta to the United States Senate. If Lou Barletta had been in the United States Senate, Obamacare would have been repealed. One vote. It was one vote. And Pennsylvania can do it.
We did it before.
And we're going to do it again.
We are.
John Trin is here. We've got to send him to Congress. That's good. Here's another example of the American dream. Started a business almost out of a $2,500 loan to the 5th biggest business of its kind in the United States of America. That's the American dream. Got tired of what he was seeing in government, ran for council, greatly overwhelmed. A Democrat town, 3-1, he wins. Saw he wasn't getting any change he wanted, he ran for mayor. Despite those overwhelming odds, he wins. Turns that city around, wins re-election, runs for Congress. We all know the story of Lou and the good work he's doing to save taxpayers' money, $4 billion, just changing the way they do real estate in Congress, the way they take care of real estate. He sold some real estate as chair of the subcommittee. Done some good things. Lou's going to make a great United States Senator. Bob Casey has become a full rank and file member of the Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren wing of the Democrat Party. Remember when he passed himself off as a moderate, pro-Second Amendment, pro-life, like his father? Any pretense of that is gone. Stood up there and said about Judge Kavanaugh, I'm going to vote, before he was nominated, I'm going to vote for anyone the president puts up, I'm voting against them. That's not what a United States Senator does. That's certainly not what a United States Senator from a state like Pennsylvania does. And then the other very important thing, the reason we're all here tonight is Scott Wagner. So we've got America's most liberal governor in Harrisburg. The first year he gets into office with his progressive agenda, proposes the largest tax increases in Pennsylvania history. $4 billion in tax increases, taxing everything from daycare and diapers to funeral services, and everything in between, including our kids' college textbooks. I'm getting to that. You write my speeches. Imagine how out of touch you have to be to propose taxes on daycare. So he went from being America's most liberal governor to being America's angriest governor when he shut down the government, when Republicans like Lisa Baker were sending him bills to keep over vital social services, because he wouldn't sign our budget that year because we wouldn't sign his tax, we wouldn't put his tax increases in place. And then this last year, the next year, to be America's absentee government, was absent when they were negotiating the budget. 3 budgets passed without his signature, and he's taking credit for the education increases that we put in those budgets.
Why are you saying it?
We are saying it. We're going to say it more. We need to get to say it on TV. We need you all to say it. We need you to get on Facebook, you need to get on social media and LinkedIn and say it. Share the stuff that the state party's putting out, that your county party's putting out, that Scott Wagner's putting out. He's going to talk a little bit about this. But let me just say, in closing, I've spent a lot of time with Scott Wagner, and we were proud at State Committee when we endorsed him to be our candidate. We vetted him, we got to know him, we got to see how passionate he is about Pennsylvania. This is a man who doesn't need this job, giving up a pretty good business that he's now not running because he cares about Pennsylvania. And for this South Philly boy, who was inspired by people like Jack Kemp and other Republicans who had a message for inner city America, where I think we need to bring our message with an evangelical zeal, it does my heart good to see that we now have a candidate for governor who's not afraid to go into those neighborhoods and say, what has the Democratic Party done for you? Look around. Look at your schools. Look at your neighborhoods. He goes and mows the grass in their parks that the city's not taking care of. He meets with pastors, as he did last week. He meets with former gang leaders who are now trying to get other kids who are in gangs and get them out of those gangs. He wants to train people for jobs there. He's willing to take our message of opportunity, our message of hope, our message of jobs and economic opportunity into those neighborhoods. And we have to do all that we can to get votes out in places like up here in northeastern Pennsylvania, where you did such a great job for this president. This president's doing a great job, by the way. And thank you. showed just in a year and a half what was wrong with Barack Obama's vision, right? Barack Obama said the days of 3% growth were what? They were over. The most important thing was taking care of income inequality. The heck with the growth, we can't get to 3% anyway. It took only about a year and a half for Donald Trump and the Republican Party to show them wrong. And it scares the heck out of that. So much so that the guy who said we couldn't get to 3% growth is now taking credit for the 4% growth. That's right. That's right.
For building the wall.
That's right. So Scott Wagner's cut from that mold. Promises made, promises kept. He's going to keep all of those promises. He's not in Harrisburg to make friends. He's not in Harrisburg to be the most popular guy. He's in there to get some things done. This is one of the most hardworking, compassionate, visionary leaders I have met. And it's a great honor for me to stand up here as the chairman of the Pennsylvania Republican Party and introduce to you our next governor, Scott Wagner.